In the year 2026, it's hard not to feel a little bitchy at the video games industry as a whole. Layoffs, studio closures, everywhere we look, it feels like a new avenue for bad news for the things we love. I could sit here and spend several hours correctly diagnosing the various problems that are plaguing our industry, but it's too late for preventative care. Now, we need an antidote. That antidote is Denshattack, bitches. Denshattack, the latest game published by Fireshine and developed by undercoders, is a bonkers affair. Chronicling the adventures of Emmy, a ramen delivery girl who's made a modest life outside of the cities that were walled up on account of the climate crisis, Denshattack's story unfolds as a mildly interesting excuse to do train tricks on dope-ass courses across an incredibly vibrant and creative world. This game is firing on literally every cylinder and is good in every single way. Let's examine. It's hard not to start with the gameplay because, what the fuck is any of this? I'll do my best, so here goes. Each level has a main goal, whether that be to complete objectives, win a race, fight a boss, etc. There's always one main mission to accomplish. You can earn bronze, silver, or gold medals in any of the three main measures of how you complete that goal, which are your total score, your finishing time, and how many of the sub-objectives you completed along the way. And yes, each level has a unique set of sub-objectives that encourage replayability and are generally pretty fun to explore and complete. It's in this vein that Denshattack reminds me a lot of how many of the modern Sonic games are laid out. There are predetermined courses, each with multiple routes, hidden sub-objectives to collect, and a main grading system otherwise. But mechanically, Denshattack is a totally different beast. Seemingly forever introducing new ways to drive or control your train, traversing a Denshattack course is a mix of train tracks, grind rails, lifts, drift turns, vert ramps, wall rides, ground pounds, tunnel loops, rainbow tracks, and so much more. Your ability to read and react to these course elements will ultimately dictate your success, and the further you get into the game, the more mechanics you'll need to keep track of in order to succeed. Here's where I must mention that, at least for me, the difficulty here was just right. Each new mechanic introduced kept me feeling like I was always just barely keeping up with the blistering pace of each track as it was throwing those new mechanics at me. And this isn't even talking about the trick system. Beyond everything I just mentioned, the game builds a skate-style trick system into the right stick, where various flicks and quarter circles result in different and more elaborate tricks. Adding to this, there's a nose and tail manual system that feeds into a delightfully risky trick combo system that you really need to push in order to get those score medals. Keeping up with all the traversal mechanics while also trying to trick combo your way through the whole course has my brain feeling like Pop Rocks, but in a good way. Mercifully, the game never punishes you for landing while you're mid-trick, which is good because there's so much else to keep track of. With such tight pacing and a wide breadth of gameplay options, this is a game that literally does not stop being fun across the roughly 7 or 8 hours it took me to finish, which did include some level replaying to try and improve my medals. Visually, I feel like I don't need to say too much about Denshattack since you've been looking at how gorgeous it is this whole time. Nevertheless, I do want to call out a few aspects of the game's visual design that I think are particularly strong. First, it's bright and colorful, and I know this is a personal preference, but I feel like this crisp, vibrant tone is hit perfectly here without veering too offensively into bright rainbow colorful territory, you know? Furthermore, each world looks truly unique, and the team did a great job unifying the aesthetic across many of the game's wonderful stages. The story is told with cutscenes that are only rudimentarily animated, but are fully voiced and well illustrated otherwise. Boss fights are incredible spectacles that never fail to impress me, both from a visual standpoint but also with the unique gameplay that each one introduced. And last but certainly not least, the game runs at a buttery smooth frame rate while all of this is going on. Granted, this is all on my gaming PC, but I can't imagine an Xbox or PS5 not keeping up with this as well. Looking at Denshattack footage, it may look busy to you, and I won't lie, there's a bit of a learning curve to overcome simply to get your eyes to look at the correct part of the screen when it's important to do so. And there's also some muscle memory required to learn the various warning signs that pop up in the center of the screen. But honestly, those are relatively small hurdles, and the payoff on the other side is well worth the jump. And so let's quickly talk about the story, because hey, there is one. As I mentioned before, you play as Emmy, a ramen delivery girl who's recently stumbled into the world of Denshattack, which is this game's term for whatever's happening here. As the story unfolds through brief cutscenes and some admittedly interesting conversations that you can have at onsens along the map, you learn more about the people who inhabit the world outside of the Dome cities, the gangs they lead, and the corporation Moraido, who's responsible for much of the technology mentioned in the game. It's not going to keep you on the edge of your seat or anything, but the story here is decent and kept me good company along the crazy ride. Not to be outdone by the visuals, but the game's audio design is something else as well. I'd love to dedicate some time here and play you a few selections that I found particularly dope, but I don't think I can. A number of renowned game composers come together to form the Denshattack soundtrack. But since it's commercially available elsewhere, I'm hesitant to include standalone audio in this video. What I will say though is that the soundtrack perfectly complements the game, slowing it down to chill when it needs to, and more often hyping it up like crazy for big moments. It all works very well, and kudos to the team for putting together such a strong list of performers here. Hey, that's it! I'm done talking about Denshattack. Wanna know why? Because I wanna go play more Denshattack. And you should too. It's on Game Pass if you're interested, but even without Game Pass, you should definitely pick this game up. It deserves to be purchased and treasured. Denshattack is Denshattack. If you've played it already, let us know what you thought in the comments. Please also consider liking and subscribing to help our channel out, and thank you so much for watching.
Sure. Let's have some damn fun.